Okay, welcome back to the Sons of Montezuma Film Room. It's Mateo San Diego, once again joined with our coach, Coach Carrasco, Coach C. Now, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, I want to give you the opportunity to do that now. We've been here with you all season, showing highlights, game recaps, some scouting reports and whatnot. And, Coach C, this weekend coming up, the Aztecs are playing a huge game. We got some help these previous weeks. Fresno State lost to Boise. Unbelievable game that we had a feeling that Boise had the ability to get it done, but not in the manner that they did, 40-14. So that opened the door for this game this week, the Aztecs and Nevada. For basically whoever wins this is in control of the Western Division. The Aztecs beat Hawaii last week 17-10. Nevada beat San Jose State last week 27-24. So they're both coming off narrow victories for this battle in Carson, California. It's a home game for us. Believe it or not, we've actually lost 3 games in a row to these guys. The Aztecs have lost 3 games in a row. So they're hoping to end the trend, hoping to end it this week. But they got an explosive offense against our tough defense. Looking at their quarterback, who obviously runs the show there, Carson Strong, what would be the best way for the Aztec defense to attack him, get the best of their offense, and try to escape this game and end that win streak by the Wolfpack so the Aztecs can hopefully get to the championship game?
Yeah, it's a good question. Carson Strong getting a lot of interest, and for good reason. The kid just seems to be a quarterback that's always under control, really understands what he's looking for in every play. His pre-snap skills are really good, really good. He likes it, he really trusts his eyes and trusts what he sees, what coverage is trying to do, and he anticipates really, really well. And in the situation with his physical hindrances, with his leg injury that he's dealing with, you can really tell that it's something that he is just battling through, and he's still finding ways to be successful, completing balls and 3rd and longs, it doesn't matter. 3rd and mediums, it doesn't matter. Pressures and all that. He just really understands how to keep his eyes downfield, get rid of the ball before a receiver even makes his cut. His timing is really impeccable. He does a great job. I really believe it's up to our front and to get after this quarterback. And, everybody wants to get sacks on a quarterback and pressure a quarterback, make him change his launching points. Well, there's nothing more important in this game than to do that. Can we get him to be in an uncomfortable position where he has to use his legs to buy more time, to change launching points where he can deliver a ball? And I think if the Aztec defense can get middle pressure on him, A gap and B gap pressure, where he's not feeling comfortable with stepping up, and he really doesn't step up much. He uses a lot of his arm because he really can't use his back leg right now, which is even more impressive by him. The fact that he can't use his whole body to step into a throw, and he's still finding ways to complete the ball. But if the Aztec defense can get him where he has to find ways to buy time, then we're in a great position to get a bunch of sacks. I think, don't have to worry about him running from the front or from the pocket, whatever else. And I wouldn't even spend so much time even trying to get on the edges. That's not his thing. The thing is, we want him to attack him in the middle gaps. The A gaps is where the center's at to his right and left. That's called the A gap. The next gap where the guards are at, those are called the B gaps. And of course, the tackle, the right tackle, left tackle, they're in charge of the C and D gaps here. And so a lot of teams like to bring pressure on the edges. To me, I think if we bring a lot of middle pressure, get him to throw as wide passes as much as possible, get him to try to time those widened passes. In other words, make sure that ball's in the air a little bit longer, where he has to release it a little bit sooner than he would like, and all that before those guys are making cuts. It will allow our DBs to cut under those things. So we really want to make sure that the distance of his throws are extended more. He can't really look at the quick throws over the middle, the hook to curl areas, anything over the middle by a tight end. Make him throw those long, deep outs as much as possible, and always have in the back of his mind that there's going to be a lot of pressure coming directly right in front of him. If we can get that done, I think our defense is going to have a good day. If we don't, he's good enough where he can really control the clock with his arm, and he's not afraid of third and longs, like I said. All right, man. So here's an example that I'm talking about. His ability that even on the third and long, he does so well with even these situations, even though he's limited on his mobility. And Fresno State here decides that they're going to only rush 3. They did this actually 3 times on this drive, where there was the 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 11, a 3rd and 13. And Carson Strong each time picked up the first down. And Fresno State just kept rushing 3, dropping 8. And he ate it up, Carson Strong. He ate it up, and he does just enough here. And so they rush 3 here, just to show this kid's ability and his talent level. Gets back, just a little bit, just enough. And only because they're rushing 3 and not that 4th guy, not that 5th guy, he just does enough. But this is his comfort area. If you don't take care of this and you allow him to stay in the middle of the pocket, or at least step into the pocket, he's going to hurt you with his arm, And so Fresno State here drops 8. And he does a great job of slinging it, finding the guy, moving the chains, and you got yourself a first down, and very important first down, I might add. They're down by 11 there. And so he really has that ability to hurt you if you don't get the right type of pressure on him. And so it really does. It's one thing to get pressure on a quarterback, but it's another thing is what type of pressure are we getting to him? Most quarterbacks that are very mobile, when they're mobile like that, what you'll find is that you'll get guys that can go ahead and avoid the pressure and then hurt you because they bought time for their receivers. Well, the type of pressure that's needed to beat this kind of a kid is that because he understands I'm not going to move chains with my legs, I'm going to hurt you with my mind being able to read coverage, whatever, by just making the throw before the cut or whatever else. But if you don't get the right pressure that's necessary, I have the ability to step up a little bit, still survey the field, and find the holes necessary to keep the chains moving and all. So this kid, he's tough. He's real tough. And San Diego State, they're going to have to come up with their A game in the front pressures, if you will. The offense is going to have to come up with their A game. You don't want this kid on the field all night trying to figure out what our defense is trying to do to you. You want to limit his possessions, that's for sure.
If there's ever a game, our running attack needs to be on point this game to keep the ball possession, keep him off the field. This is the game. This is the game.
No doubt. And speaking of running attack, you just got me all fired up. Of course, I decided to wear his jersey today and all that stuff. And so be number 28 here. And I thought I would have a little fun with you there, Matt, about some of the old school stuff and all. But
the GOAT.
The GOAT, the Aztec GOAT. And
Marshall.
His name was Marshall Faulk. And, it's just something that, for those of you that are Aztecs and don't know, there's this freshman from Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana, that joins our ball club, our school, our program, and he puts us on the map. And I happened to be a student there while he was there, and I got to know him, and he's such a classy guy and a business approach to everything, and a lot of fun. But I'll always be grateful for what he did for San Diego State football and the pride that we had, ESPN and whatever. I mean, you got an ESPN game back then when there wasn't 4,200 different channels. It was, it was just ESPN and that's it. There was not an ESPN2 back then or whatever else. So if you got a game on ESPN, it was big time.
Everybody saw it.
Everybody saw it. But what he did, sophomore year, kickoff classic, and ABC decides to go ahead and put the USC San Diego State game as the main game. And I don't know if you mind if I want to just get a little nostalgic on you real quick.
Oh, no.
So back in 1992, this is Marshall Faulk's sophomore year. We're fired up. we got an ABC game. It's a hot September day. And I'll never forget, USC heard about this kid, freshman kid from the year before, Marshall Faulk. Yeah, he did those things and he put up those numbers, but that he didn't play anybody. And you got guys like Mark Carrier, Willie McGinnis, that played on that defensive side of the ball for USC. And I remember the trash that was talked about. And I'll never forget, Lynn Swan was a TV analyst who was a USC graduate, and he got a little smirky about the Aztecs, making fun of our uniforms, and wanted to see if this Marshall Faulk was the real deal. Now you're playing a real football team. It's kind of the sentiment and the attitude that we're getting, even though Marshall Faulk had played the likes of the Miami Hurricanes the year before and did his thing and whatever else. This guy had to prove that he was the truth. And boy, did he show up. He didn't go for 100 yards against USC. He went for 299 yards against these guys. And boy, did he show out. But this is the play. If you were an NFL scout, if you were Lynn Swan on the sideline and you weren't a believer before this game, you became a believer after this game. And after this play, it's a special play. But there's a little thing about this guy, Marshall Faulk, that made him special. Yeah, he had the physical attributes, and we'll go over those in a little bit. We got a 3-receiver set here to the weak side, tight end. I used to call this formation tray left. Tight ends on the left. You got your tray formation, the 3-receiver set. And this is considered the weak side, and they're going to run a weak side stretch. And so these center and guard here, they're going to scoop these two guys here. They're going to go ahead and try to get around and scoop these two. So these two are in charge of these two. These two, the left guard, left tackle, they're going to go ahead and take care of the next two Trojans here, just trying to scoop it. And this tight end's going to be a helper. And what Marshall's going to do is he's going to read the block of his right tackle. He's going to go ahead and stretch this play out. And he's just going to read, if this D-gap defender, defensive end, stays on the outside, Marshall is going to set that up and either come underneath. If he ends up slanting in, Marshall will keep it on the outside and trust his 3 receivers to make great blocks. And the beautiful thing that we see is good teamwork by the old Aztecs, 1992 opening kickoff on ABC. We see this great block. And you're going to see this as Marshall takes it outside. 73 here sees that the defensive end wants that D-gap responsibility. And the beautiful thing about stretch, outside zone, that's all right. We're just going to continue to block him. Marshall's going to set up that block and then just going to make this cut. Now watch Marshall set this block up. He's going to attack hard and he sets this block. It's a great block here. I believe that's Keith Williams there, now the receiver coach for the Baltimore Ravens. Takes that outside shoulder and then Marshall turns the corner. I'm going to rewind this just a tad so you can appreciate what Marshall was all about. It's going to hit a gear and then boom. Guys got leverage and it doesn't matter. Marshall's to the house.
Gone.
You're a believer then, you're a believer now. And look at this. This is Jack Murphy Stadium. You got these people going crazy. This is a happy dude right here now. That's one happy man. He's looking like, what the heck did I just see? Guys are high-fiving. And this crowd is going crazy. Yeah, we didn't believe in shirts back then. Who didn't need shirts? We're under the San Diego sun, for crying out loud. And there's Marshall. Keith Williams going there, celebrating with them, these guys. And then look at this Trojan fan. Are you kidding me? No one does that to the USC Trojans. I got Willie McGinnis and Mark Carrier. These are future NFL football players. Who's this San Diego State running back doing this to my defense? Talk about a frustrated fan right there. And this guy right here, we got a guy. We got a real dude here. And his name is Marshall Faulk. Marshall. Every college in the country wanted him as a defensive back.
Yep, sure did.
Recruited him as a defensive back, and he's a freshman, and the only reason why he chose San Diego State is because Coach Luganbill says, I'll give you a shot. I'm going to give you a shot here to play running back. But if it don't work out, you're playing DB. All Marshall wanted was just an opportunity. And our number one running back gets hurt, and Marshall Faulk has to play a game literally where no one even knew who he was. We were upset that our star running back was hurt, and this kid comes in freshman, New Orleans, California, and this is one of his favorite plays, this counter, and you watch him go to work. This kid going to work, high-fiving Montezuma and all that. That's right. And here we go. And, you know, he just brought an excitement. Since we didn't get no Hawaii film and all that because for whatever reason, I thought, you know what, let me go ahead and pay a little respect since it's the Hawaii game. This is counter. I'm going to explain what counter is. All counter is we're going to pull our backside guard and our backside tackle. They're going to pull and they're going to kick out. But watch Marshall, how he handles this. Guy's going to defeat the first block, and he has to jump up in the air. And it's very rare to see a guy who's going to be a full stop and then immediately be in fifth gear. And watch this like he shot out of a cannon at a full stop. Bam! And just explodes into the end zone. Just amazing shot. And right when I saw that, I'm like, holy smokes, we got something here. Very next play, you're going to see it again here. And just the specialness of this kid. Again, running counter. He's going to set up his block and then shoot through the hole, and boom. Marshall, he just knew where the end zone was all the time. But this is where the play where he was different and what made him special. What made him such a special running back that when I first saw him do his thing, it really was, and again, it's back to stretch. Now, we ran it against USC, but here you're going to see it against Hawaii. And this one's even more impressive because how he sets up his blocks. He's going to be attacking the outside butt cheek of his right tackle, but his eyes are going to be on this tight end. These two guys are in charge of taking care of the D end and scooping it to the next level. That guard has got to come over and help out too. You're going to watch Marshall stay attacking this gap here. Okay, the C or the C gap. He's going to stay in it for as long as possible, and it's really to help out these two guys consume the linebacker that comes into the screen. And you're going to see Marshall set up that block, and then you're going to see Marshall use his peripheral to set up our receiver's block, and then you're going to see Marshall again set up another block. It's just beautiful display of incredible vision, incredible running back ability. So he's going to attack that hole and he stays with it. He doesn't go and attack outside. He really attacks that gap hard, keeping that D end inside so that he can take that gap away. And Marshall really at the last minute is going to bounce this thing out. And he consumes and helps out that linebacker. Now a guy comes into play, and now this is where the physical ability. He gives him a little pat and moves him. Bam. And then he attacks that inside to set up Darnay Scott's great block. Marshall saw that guy from the very beginning. So after he makes this move, Marshall's going to attack it hard inside. Now his eyes are here, but he's doing that on purpose to get this DB, who Darnay Scott, our receiver, is blocking so that Darnay can stay on his outside shoulder. So this is all set up by Marshall. Sets it up, bam, makes that cut. And because of that, Darnay's blocks in on outside shoulder, takes care of both of these guys. Now, Darnay Scott, not only does he stop, he continues. Now watch Marshall. Marshall's ahead of him, and Marshall still sets up now another block by Darnay. Stops, slows, sets that block up, and then gone to the house. Marshall. Are you kidding me? Look at those numbers.
Look at those uniforms, man. I miss those suckers.
Classic uniforms. I wouldn't mind San Diego State if you kind of did a little throwback here, because for us throwback Aztecs, but we love your uniforms now. They're beautiful. These classics were beautiful.
I'm petitioning for like every year homecoming throwback. Wear these puppies, man. That'd be beautiful.
I would love that idea. I would love the San Diego State deciders to make that decision, and boy, wouldn't be a great thing. And it was beautiful to watch this man play. It's beautiful to watch this team, the years that he was there to play. They were a lot of fun. David Lowery being the quarterback, Darnay Scott, Ray Peterson, Akeem, and of course, Keith Williams, my buddy, and all that other stuff. Those guys, Curtis Shear, those kind of receivers that bring back, some great memories, for our guys. And
big shout out to David Lowery, man. I remember when we met up with him on the way at the Cal game, and big shout out to David Lowery for supporting Sons of Montezuma. I see you.
No doubt. What a great guy. He's a great supporter. And boy, I tell you what, watching him throw the deep ball where that thing would literally touch the clouds, he would throw that thing straight up in the air. Darnay would run as fast as he can, and Darnay was a blazer. And David Lauer would take his 3-step and just heave that thing as far as he could, as high as he could. And to watch our wideouts run underneath that thing and that thing just drop from the sky. And it was a lot of fun. The team was a lot of fun. Love the Aztec players that we have today. They seem like a good crew. They're really representing our school so well and keeping the winning tradition that's been really for the last few years now. How many bowl games are we trying to get to now in a row?
Boy, we were on a 10 in a row streak. Should have went last year, but with COVID complications and a little bit of politicking, but this year looks like we're already bowl eligible. How far will we go? It's up to the Aztecs this weekend against Nevada. We're number 22 in the college football playoff rankings. So hopefully we can keep climbing. Hopefully keep climbing with a big win this weekend.
Yeah, it's fun to see them doing what they're doing. And we always love to see them in a bowl game, and all that. But keep it up, Aztecs. You're doing a great job. You've made us proud. Finish the season off strong. Keep doing what you're doing. Go get that Wolfpack, beat them up, and get past them. And let's finish the season strong.
All right. Well, the game will be 7:30 on CBS Sports Network. The Aztecs and the Wolfpack. Coach C, appreciate your time. We'll have to do this again next week.
Can't wait. Go Aztecs.
Just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the Sons of Montezuma film room here, where we do a lot of highlights, our post game, and some of our scouting reports. And if you haven't checked out sonsofmontezuma.com, definitely check that out, where we have our news articles, our post game recaps, our previews. It even houses all of our podcast episodes, our weekly podcast with K5 James and Dirtball Dan and myself. And of course, our sonsofmontezuma.com shop. Earlier this year, we signed our first name, image, and likeness deal, making the official Greg Bell t-shirt. Well, we're happy to announce that we've signed our second player to the Sons of Montezuma team, Matt Ariza, our star punter. You could purchase his jersey t-shirt, available now just in time for the holidays, at sonsofmontezuma.com/shop. Definitely want to support all of our Aztecs players and the hard work they put in this season, so definitely go get that. Only a couple more games left in the season, so let's support our Aztecs and continue to check back here every week as we give you more coverage of the Aztecs football team from a fan's perspective. sonsofmontezuma.com. Go Aztecs.